Hi everyone, it's me Slash. Today is May 5th, 2023, and that means Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is now out in theaters, so I'm gonna go see it after work. Yes! It's actually really nice out today, but earlier this week, like Monday through Thursday, it was just disgustingly hot. Especially for so early in May. Like usually this is like June or July weather, but it's almost never like 28 or 30 this early in May. That's almost unheard of. So it was pretty brutal for the last couple of days, especially when I live in a building without air conditioning, but I have a lot of fans and little tricks that I've picked up over the years. So I make do. But when I have to walk to and from work, or when I'm doing shopping or waiting for buses, it was just brutal. But it's finally breaking, so now it should get back to more appropriate temperatures. It's still pretty hot, but it's not as hot as it was last time. Now there's a nice breeze, and I can walk around without wanting to melt. And there's a 4:30 showing, which is perfect because we'll be done at work at about 4, and that'll give us 20 minutes to walk there, so it'll be a lot like the Mario movie where I went after work. Except this time, I'm bringing a coworker with me, who's also from Winnipeg. I found out more recently. I just assumed that she was from Edmonton because she doesn't really talk about it, but yeah, no, she and her whole family moved here, and they've been here for quite a while longer than me and my mom. We're still working on her nickname, though. And that is, of course, if she actually wants to be on camera, which she might not. And that's fine. It's her choice. Now I'm sitting outside of work. They don't let us in until exactly 12:45. Or sometimes if there's somebody already coming out of the door, like 1 minute before. The door just sits there, ominously watching us. And that would be the voice of our potential, of the person we're gonna go see the movie with. Have you decided on a name yet? Maybe we should just go with Pixie?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Pixie. See? The door just sits there ominously.
Jeez. This is the pre-watching reel, is it?
Well, yeah, just some of the stuff before we go to the movie.
Okay.
So how stoked are you?
Pretty stoked. Rocket's probably gonna do something bad and stupid again.
Oh yes, well that's what Rocket does. Okay, so we're done work now. Heading to the movie. Showtime is 4:30. Should have plenty of time to get there. But first we have to go down the elevator that smells like French fries.
I thought it constantly smells like French fries.
You know, usually it's only when you're coming up around lunchtime.
Smells all in the elevator.
Here, it's the French fry elevator. Flustered after work, and I think I led us to the wrong escalator. Because the theater's up there, but we should still be okay because we can go up that way and then that way. I usually take that first one, but I got confused.
I'm just following you.
Yeah. Which is why it's that much more pressure on me. That's way too much pressure, man. Over there's some sort of a fancy restaurant, and then a shortcut into the Delta, and then all this stuff I think is closed. Okay, got my ticket, and so do you. And we're in Theater 2 this time, which apparently is the biggest one they have, but never been in that one. I've been in 4 at least twice, 1 at least twice, and then 8 was the one that I was in for Super Mario, but 2 is that way. So now we gonna look, and there's not even a line. We can just go right in after you. And interestingly, you can order the food from here on Skip the Dishes if you feel like having theater food at home. Nachos, check. I showed them to Pixie, and she noped them hard. don't know why. I guess some people just aren't into nachos, but I kind of thought they were one of those things that was like a universal love. But you know, whatever. To each their own. Now I gotta figure out how to use this thingy. Oh, it's one of these touch thingies. I don't like these. So what are your expectations of the movie? Like, what do you hope will happen?
That's good.
Simple enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm, based on the trailers, I kind of get a vibe that this is going to be the last one, because Sean Gunn, the director, is now the head of the DC Universe movies. So that Flash movie they're doing is going to be a soft reboot. Okay, we're out of the movie. I'm going to do my review later because we should be going. It's already pretty late because it was 4:30 when it started, and I think that was at least 2 hours to 2.5 hours. So I'm gonna let Pixie say a couple of words to sum up the movie and what she thought of it, and then we should get her back to her bus stop, and then I'll do my review. So I will see you in a little bit. So, brief summary. What did you think?
It was very interesting. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
Seeing amnesiac Gamora.
yeah, there was a lot of things that she covered her eyes for, like the planet that was made out of human tissue.
Gross.
I know. I'm not arguing. I just noticed that.
Yeah, I'm
I can see.
squeamish.
I can see it in the corner of my eye. So, rating out of 10?
I'd say 8.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, this way. Go around again.
Okay. What about you, sir?
Oh, I'm gonna do my review once I get home.
Oh, okay.
It's getting pretty late. That was at least 2.5 hours. So, turns out that there's an LRT entrance shortcut just underneath the mall. So Pixie took that. So now here I am on the other side of the street from the work building, waiting for a bus. A 2 or a 5 will get me home. So since I've got time to kill, I might as well start the review. I loved it. I thought this was incredible, and it had the perfect balance of humor and drama. And I think that the first one had a little bit too much comedy, and the second one had a little bit too much drama. Most of the funny parts of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 were in the trailers, and then other than that, there was just like a handful of moments. But this one was hilarious, and everything was just upped in scale, and it was just incredible. Great soundtrack. Everyone was pulling their A game, and the villain was so evil, but like not evil at the same time, but he was like a despicable human being, and it was so easy to hate him, and it was so satisfying watching them finally kick his ass. And then I'm not sure because I haven't checked yet, but I think he's a clone of Khan from Quantumania, because I think that's going to be the main villain of this of this multiverse arc. That's going to be Phase 4, 5, and 6, because we're already into Phase 5, and Phase 5 I think will end at the end of 2024, and then 6 will be 2025 to 2026, and there's supposed to be 2 Avengers movies in Phase 6, or maybe there's one in 5 that'll be out next year, and then there's one in 6, I don't know. But yeah, I really loved it. Right now, I think this is one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time. Having just come off of the movie, I would give it easily a 9, maybe a 9.5, depending on certain circumstances. There were a lot of fake outs and a lot of things that they wanted you to fall for. Most of the Guardians either come very close to dying or seem to die, but nobody ends up dying in the end. But I love those moments where they like to tease you and you're like, no! But it ended up having a very happy ending, and I liked the concept of them taking the empty nowhere and trying to turn it into something positive, and I liked how Quill was trying to keep reaching through to past Gamora because he missed having them around, and everyone, including Nebula, was all on chummy terms, and Nebula was normal again, and she wasn't all awkward, and she's relaxing a little bit and learning what having friends feels like, and Rocket wasn't a jerk this time. He actually was had a very heart, like a good heart. Oh, okay, there's my bus. I'll finish this when I get home. The soundtrack was incredible. I think in terms of the most songs that I actually recognize, this one wins, because a lot of the ones that were in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and Volume 2 were a lot more obscure to me, but I heard like the Beastie Boys and a lot of other things that I know of and actually quite like, and they ended the movie with Dog Days Are Over by Florence and the Machine, which is another song that I really like. So yeah, the music was great. The effects were great, and I was actually kind of surprised that all of a sudden them focusing on Rocket's origin story. Like, it's not like I have anything against it, but it made sense because the villain was the villain was the same person that made Rocket. So that made sense, but I thought maybe they would have like already shown a little bit of this, like in previous things. But I thought it was kind of cute how they changed their name. But I like the part where they're picking their names, and then the otter goes with Lila, and then the walrus goes with teeths. It goes with teeths, like teeth S plural, and then the rabbit goes with floor, and then Rocket goes with rocket, which was really cute. But there was just so many funny moments, and like they would switch between humor and action and drama, all on the flick of a dime. Is that what the saying is? But anyway, yeah, I thought the pacing was excellent. I never got bored. I think maybe it could have been a teeny bit shorter, like maybe 5 minutes shorter, but everyone pulled their weight, and I liked all the characters, and everyone had their own chance to grow, and the relationship between a lot of the characters that have were established in other things are now even stronger. Like Drax and Mantis play off each other really well, and they're pranking each other, and her using her powers on all kinds of things. Like they tamed the creatures. They tamed 3 of those creatures that the Guardians were fighting at the beginning of the second one that they were hired by the Sovereign for, and they even brought back the Sovereign because like the secondary antagonist was Adam Warlock, who was very interesting, but I thought it was weird how he was immature. It was a weird choice, but at the same time it kind of made sense. But it was just weird because you wouldn't expect a character like that to be funny. But they balanced it really well, and he had this relationship with this dog creature that was just adorable. Yeah, I loved it. I think right now this is, if this is not my current favorite MCU movie, just under. Yeah, I really liked it. This is currently my favorite Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and I would say it goes 3-2. Then I would say that it goes 3-1 and then 2, because this one had the perfect balance between things. And yeah, it was a great happy ending, and the action and the story were all really interesting, and I loved all the different situations they found themselves in, and there was just a lot of interesting things that happened, like how there was a ship that was like stuck in the ground, and it was like they were in it as they were taking off, and then nobody knew it was a ship, and then they jump off of it, and then Groot grows wings and saves them. There was just a lot of stuff like that, so I highly recommend you see this. Easily a 9, maybe a 9.5. My review might change after I'm not so high off the movie, but yeah, I am very impressed and very happy with how this turned out, because it seems like this is going to be the last Guardians movie, or at least the last one that Sean Gunn is going to be, or at least the last one that James Gunn is going to be writing and directing himself. Although, if Joe and Anthony Russo end up getting Guardians 4, I wouldn't be disappointed with that either, because the way that the Guardians were written in Infinity War and Endgame was also hilarious, but that wasn't James Gunn. And there was also the dog Cosmo and just a lot of other little minor characters. And this feels like and this is actually like a direct sequel to the events of the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, because they're in nowhere. They were starting this whole city idea that they had. They were starting it then, and they're working on it. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I highly recommend you check it out. So that's all the time I have for this episode of the Slash Raptor Show. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you right back here in the very near future for more cool stuff. Bye-bye.